Hello and welcome everybody to day 4 of the 7 days of seb-game marathon. My name is Roland and in today's video I want to talk about how my nickname of Supernerd or Urbernerd was born. Let's get into it. And here we go with the year 2008 and the Urban War Man Against Machine game box that I bought on eBay for 20 euros in 2008, containing a Syntha and a Viridian Force, together with issue 0 of the Urban War magazine and a small terrain piece from Tenolog, a company in Russia. As I said, the year is 2008, and between then and 2016 I amassed a lot of miniatures, was one of the most active people on the old Urban War forums that I hope we can revive at some point. And the first miniatures I painted after a long absence from gaming, my Syntha, the Junkers, and of course the Viridians. The painting has improved slightly since then. The miniatures you see have been repainted multiple times. Up until 2013 I had every single strike team. Here you can see my first Corallon, the starter set plus 2 Reaper hybrids, the repainted Syntha, and my Vasa army across 2 pictures. And this is how the name Supernerd or Ubernerd came into being, because we had a discussion on said old Urban War, Urban Mammoth forum, and we came up with, well, how many miniatures do you actually have? What do you play? And I do not remember who it was. I have a suspicion it was actually John Robertson, one of the designers of Urban War. That said, well, because you are the super nerd, you have 5 Viridian strike teams, which you can see here. This was what I had in 2016 before I left the UK and went to China for almost 5 years. And it can't even fit on 2 pictures. That is how much stuff I had. I will show you in a moment how many points that is for every faction. It is a lot, I can tell you that. And this is the very latest order, not with actual quantities, because I do have 2 of each of the box sets for the Viridians, except the Saber Claw. I got myself a little bit more for the Triads, for the Gladiators, a set of 6 Larvans, 2 sets of 8 Brood, Shiva, Devi, and another Phazon for a Corallon army. I got myself the new Void Starter, the video you have seen last Friday. A little bit more for my Junkers, and haven't even started on the large Syntha order I made 2 years ago. So yeah, but how did I get into that? How did I amass so much stuff? And the short answer is I really liked the designs. I really liked the fact that I could get that starter set off eBay for 20 euros. It was all metal, unlike some other game which was almost entirely plastic at that time. And soon after that, I think in 2010, 2011, the first massive set of resin miniatures appeared for that game. And over 10 years later at seb-games we are talking about, well, it would be interesting to see those claws or those larger miniatures in a lighter material other than metal. It's not only a cost question, it is literally the weight. If you have a pacifier claw or a executioner claw. At home, you will know these things are massive, and even my KV-72 that I'm currently painting is a huge, heavy bastard of a miniature. And another thing that really attracted me is, of course, the style. I will say about something about that in the next section of this video. And another simple fact about the miniature, that they are not overloaded with details. So if you are a new painter, new gamer, you're not overwhelmed, and you can achieve really great results with a very limited repertoire of techniques in painting. And even if you just paint your block colors cleanly and nicely, just like I did in the previous pictures, you have a really nice army, all metal. And that is the kind of thing that I found attractive in this game. Now let's have a look at the artwork, and then I will show you how bad the Supernerd Übernerd is in terms of points. And here we are with part 2 of what attracted me to Urban War Metropolis and all the games designed around this theme. You can see here from the Iskandria Planetary Data book, which combines all the backgrounds of all factions except the Neo-Iskandrians, which were released later, into one really great source book. And it is this artwork combined with the miniature design, looking at concept art, John Robertson. When you look further, Bill Ward, John Grant, Mark Brandon, Christoph Madura, Clint Langley, and so on and so on. And the late Wayne England with his work not only on the Neo-Iskandrians, but creating a whole world that combines elements from retro, sci-fi, steampunk into a world that, together with an excellent rule set, made for a very, very satisfying gaming experience. And when we go further, I do really recommend you getting this book as soon as it's available again in print. I have both the PDF and the print version, but all of this stuff put together creates a very relaxing, satisfying experience, a world that you can immerse yourself in. And quite literally, we ended up on the forum around the year 2014-2015 in a lot of discussions, chats, and community created content, which a lot unfortunately has been lost when the Urban War forum went offline in 2015 or around there. And hopefully Sebastian can revive something like the forum, so that especially the gamers, gentleman from Sweden was also collecting a very, very large Junkers force. People that I only know from their online handle, like Roger, or one of the guys that I played with online. His last name was Butterworth. He's from the Netherlands. And now with my gaming buddies Eric and Mark, it is just a feel-good experience. That's the word I would like to use. And it really laid the foundation into the absolute nerd experience that I'm about to share with you. And to finalize the nerd experience, here you can see the Urban War 2 second edition army calculator written in Excel by me. And I just realized the total gladiator force points 286. I think it was closer to 400 points at the end. But I wrote this little piece of Excel where you can insert the miniatures that you have, and it automatically calculates the points with with everything, looks at, do you have all the compulsory models, is it correct in terms of not more Cal 1 than Cal 0, and so forth. It includes the claws from Claw Team Action, and when we go further, the Junkers, almost 500 points. And yes, it should actually be more when I look at it. The Exosuit Decurion. Yeah, there is definitely. I did have Dune Raider Decurion and a couple of other stuff. So I haven't updated this in many years. The Corallon, for example, that should actually be correct. So yeah, that looks okay. The Neo Iskandrians are not correct because the command models here were not released. So it should be around 600 points. 423 for the Syntha without the claws. And of course the Triads, which includes the Vasa claws, but no Vasa infantry, coming up to 1290 points in a skirmish game where you play, if you play with claws, 750, 1000 points tops, and 250, 300 points for an Urban War without claws list. Vasa even worse if you calculate with the... I actually have 2 Dragon Blades, I realize, and I just bought a Typhoon. So it will be more than 2010 points, and the Viridians with 2048 points. It will again be more than that now, although I will probably never recover the miniatures of the Vasa and the Viridian miniatures that you have seen in the picture. We are coming to a total of 7,612 points, or on average around 1,100 points, or just under 1,100 points for a skirmisher where you play 250, 300 points. I really don't know who coined the term, but my response to showing these pictures on the old Urban War forum was, my name is Roland and I have a miniature problem. That is all for today. I have a problem. I have too many miniatures, but nothing I can do about it. And I'm loving it, and I hope so do you. And I will see you again tomorrow.